Good morning and welcome to this lesson on averages from a frequency table. What we're going to do is quickly just run through what a frequency table actually represents. Okay, so we've got some data here that Suraj has collected from students at his school showing how many siblings they have. So what we've got is the number of siblings ranges from 0 to 5. The frequency column actually shows how many of the students said they had this amount of siblings. So we've got 7 people said they had no siblings at all. 9 people said they had 1, 14 said they had 2, 8 said they had 3, 3 said they had 4, and 2 said they had 5 siblings. Okay, so that is what the frequency table represents. What we're going to look at now is how to calculate the averages from this frequency table. So the first one we're going to look at is the mode. So remember what I said a minute ago, the frequency column tells you how many people said they had this amount of siblings. Okay, so if this was a list of data in order, we would have 7 zeros followed by 9 ones followed by 14 twos followed by 8 threes, 3 fours and 2 fives. So the number that appears most in that list would be the number 2. On a frequency table, how we calculate that is by looking down the frequency column, looking for the highest number, and then have a look at what data that represents. Okay, so in this instance the highest number in the frequency is 14. That represents 2 siblings. So the mode would be 2 siblings. Okay, we'll now look at the mean. Now to calculate the mean, what we need to do is we need to create another column. Now if you notice, I've called the data column number of siblings X, and I've called the frequency column F. Okay, so we're going to create another column called XF. All that means is we're going to multiply these 2 columns together. So when we do this, I'm going to do 0 times 7, which is 0, 1 times 9 is 9, 2 times 14 is 28, 3 times 8 is 24, 4 times 3 is 12, and 5 times 2 is 10. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to get a total of the frequency column and a total of my XF column. So when I add my frequencies together, I end up with 43, and when I add these numbers together, I end up with 83. So to calculate the mean, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the total of my XF, which is 83, and I'm going to divide that by my total of my frequency, which is 43. Now don't worry, this would be on a calculator paper, so there's no need to think, oh my god, I can't do that. Okay, on a calculator, what you're going to do is you're going to round your answer to a relevant amount of decimal places. I'm going to do it to 2 decimal places, so on the calculator I'll type 83. So on my calculator I'll type 83 divided by 43, and it gives me that big long answer. I'm going to round that to 2 decimal places. So I'll look at the second decimal place, I'm going to look to the third decimal place to tell me how to round the second. So because this is a 0, that is going to stay as a 3. So my answer would be 1.93 siblings. Okay, mostly with your mean it will be a decimal answer. Please don't worry about that one. Just write what is on your calculator. Now the next thing we're going to look at is the median. Now the median is a little bit more difficult to do, but it is very doable. So again, we're going to need another column. This column we're going to call a cumulative frequency, or CF for short. This is a running total of your frequencies. Okay, so what we're going to calculate now, okay, is the cumulative frequency. So we're looking at the frequency. So my first frequency is 7. So my first cumulative frequency would be 7. What we're going to do now is add this number to the frequency. So I'm going to do 7 plus 9 is going to be 16. 16 plus 14 would be 30. 30 plus 8 is 38. 38 plus 3 is 41. And 41 plus 2 is 43. Okay, so this is what we call a cumulative frequency. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to fill in the positions of the numbers. So this tells me that the zeros are going to be, if they were in a list form, they would be the 1st to the 7th numbers. Okay, the number 1s would be the 8th to the 16th numbers. The number 2s would be the 17th to the 30th numbers. The number 3s would be the 31st to the 38th numbers. Number 4s would be the 39th to the 41st numbers, and the number 5s would be the last two numbers, the 42nd and 43rd number. So what I need to do now is find out what position in the list would the median be. Okay, so to do this, we're going to take a total frequency, add 1, divide by 2, that will tell me the position of the median. So for this instance, my total frequency is 43, so 43 plus 1 divided by 2. Okay, so remember this is for the position of the median. Okay, so that is going to be 44 divided by 2, so I'm looking for the 22nd position. Okay, remember 22 is not your median, that is just the position of the median if it was in a list. So what I need to do now is have a look at my cumulative frequency again. So we said these numbers are the 1st to the 7th positions, so the 22nd position is not here. This is the 8th to the 16th positions, the 22nd position is not within that range either. 17th to the 30th positions, 22 does fit in this range, so therefore I look across, have a look here to find out how many siblings it represents. So therefore, 3 dots, therefore, okay, the median equals 2 siblings. Okay, final thing we're going to look at then is the range. So the range is not an average, the range is how spread out our data is. So to calculate the range, we usually have the biggest number take away the smallest number. Okay, that is the same instance in a frequency table, but we've got to make sure that we calculate it from the correct column. Now if we look at the frequency table, you can see the biggest number is 14 and the smallest number is 0. That is not how we calculate the range. Remember, the frequency is how many times these numbers appear in our data. So we calculate the range only from this column here. So the biggest number in this column is 5, the smallest is 0. So to calculate the range in this instance is 5, take away 0, which will equal 5. Okay, so we're going to have a look at a second example now, okay, where the median is slightly more difficult to calculate, so I'm going to show you on this one. So again, we're going to do the same thing again. First of all, we're going to start off with our mode. Remember, to calculate the mode, we look down the frequency column, look for the highest number, and what does that represent? Okay, so the highest frequency is 14, that represents 2 occupants in the car. Mode is 2 occupants. Okay, the mean. Remember back to our previous example, we need to create another column called XF. We've called this data column X and the frequency F, so we're multiplying straight across. Okay, so I'm going to do 1 times 7 is 7, 2 times 14 is 28, 3 times 10 is 30, and 4 times 9 is 36. We're going to get a total of the frequency, so adding these numbers together is going to give me 40. And then we're going to get a total of this column, adding these columns together is going to give me 101. And to calculate the mean is the total of the XF divided by the total frequency. So 101 divided by 40. Okay, so again, we'll do that on a calculator. 101 divided by 40 is going to give me 2.525. I'm going to round that to 2 decimal places again. You can see that again there. You can see it clearly now. Okay, I'm going to round that to 2.53 occupants. Okay, the median. Now this is where the slight change is from the previous example. Again, do my cumulative frequency, my running total of my frequencies. So again, we're starting off with 7, and I'm going to add each of the frequencies onto this as we go along. So 7 plus 14 is 21, 21 plus 10 is 31, 31 plus 9 is 40. And remember, we want this number and this number to match. I'm just going to fill in the positions now. So 1 occupant will be the 1st to the 7th positions, 2 occupants will be the 8th to the 21st positions, 3 occupants will be the 22nd to the 31st positions, and 4 occupants will be the 32nd to the 40th positions. So again, we're going to use that formula that we talked about before. Total frequency plus 1 divided by 2 to find the position of the median. Okay, so 40 plus 1 divided by 2 is 41 divided by 2, okay, which equals 20 and a half, or 20.5. So this is the position I'm trying to find. Now this means I want to find halfway between the 20th position and the 21st position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the 20th position and I'm going to find the 21st position. Okay, so if we look down here, this is my 1st to the 7th numbers. 20th or 21st does not appear here. This is my 8th to the 21st position, so both the 20th and the 21st position are the same number. Okay, they're both the number 2. So the 20th is 2 occupants. Oops, can't write. And the 21st is also 2 occupants. Now if this is the same number, we can conclude that the median is also this number. So therefore, the 3 dots in a triangle, the median equals 2 occupants. And again, the range is calculated in exactly the same way as we did before. Okay, we're looking at the data column, we're looking for the biggest number in the data, take away the smallest, so that is going to be 4, take away 1, okay, which is 3. So the only difference on this one is the median. If my median is a half, we need to find halfway between the two numbers. So I'm looking for the 20th position and the 21st position and find halfway between the two. If the number is the same, then the median will also be the same as this. Okay? So what I would like you to do now is, in your books or on a piece of paper, I would like you to have a look at these two frequency tables, and I would like you to find, please, the mode, the mean, the median and the range of these two frequency tables. Now, just to give you a bit of a heads up, the first one, okay, the median is the easier of the two to do. The second frequency table is going to give you a position which is halfway between two numbers. Okay, so bear that in mind when you're doing this one. Okay, what I'd like you to do now is pause the video, have a go at this. Okay, once you've finished, restart the video and check your own answers. So welcome back from your work. You've all worked really hard. So here's the answer to the first one. Okay, so the mode, we're looking down here, highest frequency is 12. That represents 2 pets, so my mode is 2. Okay, the range is 4, take away 0, which equals 4. The mean, we created this new column, XF, okay, multiplied these two numbers together, we got a total here of 65, and we're dividing that by 35. Again, I've rounded that to 2 decimal places, so my mean will be 1.86 pets. And then the median, we've created this cumulative frequency, and we then try to find out the position of the median by doing total frequency plus 1 divided by 2, which tells me the median sits in the 18th position. Looking down here, the 18th position fits within these two numbers, which represents 2 pets. Okay, looking at the second example, this one was slightly more difficult. Okay, let's move that up there. Okay, so again, we start off nice and easy with the mode. We look for the highest frequency, which is 19, that represents 3 bedrooms, so therefore my mode is 3 bedrooms. The range, we look at the data column here, so 5 take away 0 equals 5. The mean, we're creating this XF column again, the number of bedrooms multiplied by frequency, and then we're doing the total of XF divided by total frequency, so 133 divided by 54, okay, and that's going to give me 2.46 bedrooms. Now the median was slightly more difficult on this one. So first of all, we did our cumulative frequency, as we did before. We then found out the position, which was the 27th and a half position, so halfway between my 27th and 28th numbers. So if we look down here, my 27th or 28th doesn't fit here, 27 or 28 doesn't fit here. Now 27 is here and 28 is in this column, so 27th number is 2, the 28th number is 3. So what I need to do is find halfway between 2 and 3, so my answer would be 2.5. Now if there's any questions regarding these, when we come back into lessons, can you please highlight these to me so we can go through this in more detail. Well done class, I'll see you soon.